Commander Rhett Valen opened his eyes to silence. Not the silence of space or of a quiet room, but a deep, humming silence. Like the world was holding its breath, he lay inside the wreckage of his exploration pod, half buried in moss and glowing blue dust. Sparks flickered from the control panel. The glass dome above was cracked but still intact. Outside, strange trees shimmered in the dim light, their branches made of what looked like living crystal. "Where ... am I?" he whispered. He unbuckled his harness and climbed out. The air was cool and smelled like ozone and flowers. His boots crunched softly on the glowing ground. All around him, the crystal forest sparkled, pale blue, pink, silver, green. It looked like a dream, but he knew it. What is his ship, the Soul Runner, had been scanning this sector when they discovered a strange signal. It wasn't natural. It was music-structured tones, repeating in patterns. Before they could trace it, something had pulled his pod down to this planet. Gravity had shifted, systems had shut down. The rest of the crew was still up there somewhere, waiting, or searching, and he had crash-landed on a planet that wasn't on any chart. As Rhett moved carefully through the forest, he noticed something strange. The trees seemed to hum, not loudly, but a soft, low sound, like a whisper. Every step he took changed the pitch, like the forest was reacting to him. He stopped near a pool of water so clear it looked like glass. His reflection shimmered. Behind him, the crystals bent ever so slightly as if watching. Rhett looked up at the twin suns in the sky. One was a soft gold, the other a deep blue. Light filtered down in beams that made the air sparkle. "This place, it's alive," he murmured. He took out his wristcom and tried to send a signal. Nothing. Static then. A sound. Not a machine. Not static. A voice. A song. He turned around and saw her. She stood at the edge of the clearing watching him. Tall, graceful, and unlike anything he had ever seen. Her skin shimmered like pearl. Eyes were large, glowing violet, full of sadness and wonder. Her hair floated slightly, as if under water, woven with strands of light. She wore a robe made of soft fabric that reflected the colors of the forest. She stepped forward, barefoot, not making a sound. Rhett raised his hands slowly. "Hello?" he said. The woman tilted her head, then reached out. Her fingers brushed his arm. She gasped. "You are real," she said, her voice soft and full of awe. Then she whispered words that made Rhett freeze. "Will you marry me?" There was a long silence. The wind stopped. The trees didn't hum. Rhett blinked. "What?" The woman seemed confused. She touched her own chest. "I am Sorel," she said, "daughter of the Sky Song. Voice of Ayara." She pointed to the forest. "To the trees, to the skies. Iara," she said. "This world, I'm Rhett Valen, Commander Human," he said slowly. She repeated the word, "Human." Then she smiled like it tasted nice. Her eyes shone. "You are the one the song remembers, the Skywalker, the chosen." Rhett frowned. "Chosen for what?" Lowered her gaze. "You are early," she said. "Or maybe we are late." She stepped closer and placed a glowing crystal near his chest. It floated, then glowed brighter. Her eyes widened. "It is you, the harmonic flame." Rhett took a step back. "Look, I think there's a misunderstanding. I crash-landed. I'm not here on purpose. I'm just trying to get home." Cyril looked heartbroken. "You do not want to stay." He hesitated. She wasn't just an alien. She was lonely. I could feel it, like her voice carried her soul. "Don't even know where I am," he said gently. She looked up. "You are on Ayara, the silent world. We have waited for your kind for a long, long time." Rhett sat on a smooth crystal rock, trying to process everything. Cyril explained, in soft tones, that her people the Ayeri had not spoken to outsiders in over 10,000 years. They lived in harmony with the planet. The planet, she said, was alive. Not with creatures, but with thought, memory, emotion. Iada is a song, she said. One that listens and remembers. It remembers your kind. But humans have never been here, Rhett said. Sorel looked at the sky, not in body, but in spirit. The stars carry echoes. You're kind, you burn bright. Loud, you disturb the harmony, but also you inspire it. She turned to him. We became still. You never stopped moving. You are the catalyst. Rhett rubbed his face. Let me get this straight. You're telling me your whole planet expected me to come? And now you want me to marry you? She smiled. Yes, he laughed. Why? Her voice grew soft. Because only a soul of chaos can stir the still heart. It's only a warrior of wonder can wake the sleeping song. You are not just a visitor. You are part of Ura's future. Looked around at the glowing trees, the peaceful air. No danger, no war, no greed. Just beauty, music, peace. And yet, they had waited for him, a human. Someone from a loud, messy, uncertain species. Are you sure you have the right person? He asked. She reached out again, touched his chest. Yes, the planet sings your name. That night, Rhett sat near the glowing pool. The stars above were unfamiliar, yet beautiful. Sorel sat beside him, quiet. He asked, What happens if I say no? She looked sad, but didn't argue. Then you will return to the stars, and we will wait again. He looked at her face. She wasn't trying to trap him. She was giving him a choice. For the first time in years, Rhett didn't feel like a soldier. Or a commander, he felt. Seen. Like he belonged somehow. I'm not promising anything, he said, but I'll stay for now. Sorel's smile lit up the night. The forest hummed softly again, in a new melody, and somewhere deep beneath the crystal ground, the planet began to wake. Commander Rhett Valen woke up to the sound of soft music, not from an instrument, but from the forest itself. The trees hummed gently, like they were singing to each other. The light from the twin suns was softer now, golden and peaceful. Sorel was already awake, sitting by the crystal pool. Her eyes were closed, and her hands rested on the glowing surface. She was listening to the planet. When she noticed Rhett was awake, she smiled warmly. You slept well? She said. Better than I have in weeks, he replied, stretching. This place is quiet, too quiet. She tilted her head. Do you miss the noise? Rhett thought for a moment. Maybe humans are used to noise, engines, radios, cities. Ayara was not always quiet, she said. It once had songs of joy, of children, of gatherings. But slowly, the songs faded. Our people lost the need to speak. We forgot how to wonder. Rhett stood beside her. And you think I can bring that back? Sorel nodded. Not you alone, but your presence. It has changed the planet already. She pointed to the trees. Some of their crystals were now glowing in new colors, red, gold, deep violet. These colors did not exist here before, she said. They respond to you. As they walked through the forest, Sorel told him about the echoing a ritual that allowed others to share memories through sound and light. She explained that Ayara was a living memory bank. It could store emotions, thoughts, and voices. It's not just data. Ayara remembers every step taken on its surface, she said. Every voice, every song, every dream. Rhett stopped. Then it remembers. Your people's past. She nodded. Yes, and now it remembers you. She led him to a tall crystal structure shaped like a tree, but its branches curled upward like open hands. This is the memory tree, she said. Touch it, and you will see. Rhett hesitated, then slowly reached out and placed his palm. On the glowing trunk, flash, suddenly he wasn't in the forest anymore. He stood in a wide silver hall, filled with tall figures. The Ayari were singing harmonies that shimmered in the air like colors. He saw Sorel as a child, laughing with her father, a tall man with deep violet robes. He saw cities floating. In the sky, gardens made of sound, schools where children learned to speak with the planet. But slowly, the images changed. The skies darkened, the songs became soft and quiet. People began to vanish, the floating cities dimmed, and then silence. The final image was Serial, alone in the great hall, staring up at the stars, Rhett pulled his hand back, his heart heavy. "You were the last one," he said quietly. She nodded. "Yes, many of my people sleep in stasis. Some chose to become one with the planet. Only a few of us remain, waiting for the signal." Rhett looked at the glowing tree. "You thought humans could restart all this?" "We did not know what to expect," Sorrel said softly. "Only that a being from a world of chaos would come, a being who still knew how to feel joy, pain, and love without fear." They walked in silence for a while, through open meadows of soft light. Strange flowers turned to face Rhett as he passed, their petals humming soft notes. Everything was alive, watching, learning. Sir Ael stopped and looked at him. "Would you like to see how the planet sees you?" Rhett raised an eyebrow. "The planet has eyes now," she smiled. "No eyes, but it sees with feeling. Come." She placed her hand on a small crystal wall. A shimmer ran through it, and a glowing shape formed a human figure. It was him, not just his face, but his emotions. Inside the shape were pulses of color: red for courage, blue for sadness, gold for wonder. The figure played out his memories, Earth's oceans, the laughter of his crew, the pain of loneliness during long missions. "It watches everything you do," Sorrel said, "but it does not judge. It only remembers." Rhett watched in silence, seeing himself as a reflection of emotion. "It's not just flesh. No one's ever seen me like this before," he whispered. Later, they sat by a small hill, overlooking the Crystal Valley. Rhett had questions. Many. How does Ayara work? Is it a machine? A life form? "Magic," Sorrel answered with care. "Ayara is neither machine nor creature. It is a song made solid. It was created by an ancient intelligence older than the Yari. They shaped it to remember and learn, to never forget beauty. What happened to them? No one knows. They vanished. But their gift remained. We found this planet and settled here long ago. And now it chose me?" Rhett asked. Cyril nodded. "Yes, Yara sings only when it senses change. When you came, it sang in a way we had never heard." Rhett looked at the sky. "I didn't plan this. I just followed a signal." She smiled. "But you came. You stayed." That evening, they returned to a place called the Harmon Hall. It was an open space, shaped like a spiral, filled with instruments that played themselves when touched by the wind. Sorrel stepped into the center, sang a few soft notes. The crystals responded, echoing back her voice with added harmonies. She turned to Rhett. "Will you sing with me?" "I can't sing," he laughed. "I'm terrible at it." "It's not about being perfect," she said gently. "It's about sharing who you are." Nervously, Rhett sang a line from an old Earth song. His voice cracked. But the crystals didn't care. They caught the sound, multiplied it, and turned it into something beautiful. He laughed, amazed. "Did I do that?" Cyril nodded. "You are teaching Ayara something new." Before they slept, Cyril gave him a small crystal stone. "This is a thought stone. Speak to it, and your memory will live inside." Rhett turned it over in his hand. "Why give this to me?" "Because if you choose to leave, Ayara will remember you. Always." He looked at her. "And if I choose to stay?" Paused. Then quietly she said, "Then this will be your first song in a new home." That night, Rhett stood alone, looking at the stars. He missed Earth, the people, the chaos, the food. But here, he felt something new. He felt seen, valued not for his skills or his rank, but for simply being human. A voice echoed softly behind him. It was Cyril. "You said humans don't believe in destiny," she whispered. "I still don't," he replied. She stepped beside him. "Then what do you believe in?" He looked at her. "The planet, the sky. I believe in choice," she smiled. "What is more powerful than destiny?" They stood together in silence as the stars hummed above and the planet listened below. The next day, Rhett woke up to a strange sound, like thunder, but sharper. The forest was not singing. It was whispering, nervous, confused. Something was wrong. Cyril stood at the edge of the glowing meadow, Eyes turned to the sky. The golden sun had dimmed, and the blue sun now pulsed like a heartbeat. The balance is shifting, she whispered. Rhett walked over, still half awake. What's happening? She didn't answer at first. Then she pointed upward. The stars have changed. Something is coming. Rhett narrowed his eyes. High in the sky, just past the twin suns, small black dots moved in formation, too straight to be natural. He pulled out his wrist comb and tapped buttons quickly. Static then. A faint crackling voice. Soul Runner 2, Commander Valen. Copy. His heart jumped. This is Valen. I'm here. I'm alive. We detected a surge from your location. Multiple unknown ships entered orbit. Are you under attack? Rhett looked at Serail. Her face had gone pale. Unknown ships, Lee repeated. Serail stepped back. They found us, Rhett asked. The Harrowers. She led Rhett through. A hidden path into an underground hall, smooth stone, glowing symbols, and a massive door sealed with energy. It opened with her touch, revealing a large chamber with floating maps and memory crystals. These are the last records of the Ayari, she said. We hid this place long ago. Even the planet forgets it exists. Rhett looked at the map. It showed many stars, some were red, blinking slowly. What are the Harrowers? He asked. Cyril took a deep breath. They are not a species. Are hunger machines mixed with minds? They don't create, they take. They find planets rich with memory and strip them. They came to IR long ago, but we sealed our signal. And now the signal came back, Rhett said slowly. Because of me. Cyril nodded. You woke the planet. That song reached beyond the stars. Rhett clenched his jaw. So now they're coming to take it. He stood in silence, thinking. He had led danger to a peaceful world. He had caused this, but Cyril gently touched his hand. No, she said. You gave us something else too. What? Hope. A reason to defend. To feel alive again. She walked to the center of the chamber and activated a crystal. A soft hum filled the air. Images formed old weapons, machines powered by sound and memory. We once fought, she said, not with fire, but with harmony, with the planet's help. But can we fight machines? Rhett asked. Sorel looked at him, eyes calm. Not with fear, but with truth. Rhett knew he needed to prepare. He asked Sorel if she could help him contact the Soul Runner. Still in orbit, she brought him to a tall spire near the forest's edge. It was shaped like a tuning fork, made of metal and light. This was once a star bridge, she said. Can reach your people. Rhett climbed the spire and used the ancient interface. It wasn't a screen, but a crystal that responded to touch and intention. Slowly, the signals aligned. A voice came through clearer now. Commander. We've confirmed unknown ships. Black, silent, not responding. Orders. He looked out over the valley, where the gentle light of the planet now flickered. Send drones, but stay out of range. I need time to secure the surface. Are you alone down there? Rhett glanced back at Cyril. No, not anymore. Over the next few hours, Rhett and Cyril worked together. She introduced him to sentient semi-living machines grown from crystal once used to defend Ayara. They were small, like flying stones, but they could sing. Each song formed a shield, signal, or a strike. They reacted to emotion, not buttons. You must lead with your feelings, Sorel told him. The sentients don't follow orders. They follow hearts. Rhett was unsure, but tried. He closed his eyes, thought of Earth, of laughter, of pain. Of love, and the sentients moved with him. The planet responded. The trees sang louder. The light grew warmer. Even the stars seemed to blink with rhythm. Iara was not afraid, but the peace did not last. That night, the sky cracked open. A massive black ship entered low orbit. Unlike any human or Ayari design, it was jagged, with no lights. Just darkness below, the forests dimmed. The hum of the planet turned low and tense. Sorel stared at it with fear in her eyes. They remember. They're angry. Rhett placed a hand on her shoulder. We'll protect this world, together. The ship released smaller black pods, which fell toward the surface. We need to move, he said. They returned to the Harmon Hall, where many of the remaining Iari had gathered. Its men had pale faces and dim auras, but they looked up when they saw Sorel and Rhett. This is our moment. She said, ER sings again. We will not go silent. The ER began to sing not a loud song, but a strong one. Notes filled the air, weaving light and protection across the valley. The pods hit invisible shields and exploded before landing. Rhett activated the sentience. They formed a pattern above the forest, spinning, glowing, singing back. The harrowers began sending strange signals, metal sounds like broken voices, a form of psychological attack. But the planet held firm. It remembered beauty, remembered love. It remembered him. As the first harrower drones landed, Rhett and Sorel stood together. He had no gun, no armor. It's only a crystal that glowed with his thoughts. He stepped forward, and the crystal sent a shockwave of music. Strong and bright, the machines hesitated. He saw one fall, its body shaking under the pressure of a memory knot. Its own a child's laugh, a mother's voice, a lost soldier's tears. The Iari's song grew louder. They sang of days past, of peace, of joy, of life. The machines could not understand, but they felt, and some stopped moving. The battle was not without loss. Some Iari fell, their light dimmed forever. Some sentience shattered, singing one final note of defiance. But the balance did not break. As the sun rose again, the black ship pulled back, confused. It had not expected a world that remembered, that resisted with emotion, that fought with love. Rhett stood on a hill, breathing hard. His crystal was dim now, his body was tired, but his heart was full. Sorel walked to him, eyes shining. You did it, she said. No, he replied. We did. They watched the sky, now peaceful again. The forest began to sing, slowly, gently. A new song. Cyril turned to him. Now do you understand? What? Why I asked you to stay, to marry me. Looked at her, then at the forest, then at the stars. I think I do now. She smiled, and this time there was no sadness. Only hope. Yara was healing after the battle with the harrowers. The trees had started glowing again. The colors were brighter. The sounds in the air were sweeter. The planet remembered the fight and remembered the victory. But Rhett Valen did not feel like a hero. He sat by the crystal lake, tossing small stones into the glowing water, lost in thought. He had saved the world, but at what cost? Some of the Iari had fallen. He had seen their light fade. And now, Earth Command was sending a ship to retrieve him. The signal had reached the core fleet. He had a choice to make. Stay or go. Cyril approached silently. She wore a flowing robe of silver and blue, the traditional colors of a bonding ceremony. Her long hair shimmered under Ira's twin suns, but her smile was soft, certain. You've been quiet all morning, she said, sitting beside him. I've been thinking, Red answered. About Earth, yes, about everything. My duty, my people. You. She looked at him for a moment, then said gently, You are torn between two worlds. I am, he admitted. And if you leave, would you come back? I don't know, he said honestly. The stars are wide. In time, it slips fast out there. They sat in silence. Then Cyril placed a glowing crystal in his hand. This is the heart memory, she said. We give it only to the one we choose to bond with. It holds a piece of me forever. Rhett stared at the crystal, pulsed slowly, like a heartbeat, like hers. And what happens if I take it? He asked. Then even if you fly across galaxies, we will still be connected. You will always carry me. The next day, a message arrived from Earth's fleet. Commander Valen, you are cleared for pickup. Mission marked successful. Prepare for extraction. The words were sharp, cold, military. No mention of the Iari. No interest in their survival. Just success and retrieval. Rhett walked to the communication spire with Cyril by his side. The Ayari watched quietly. They understood the moment was heavy at the spire. He opened the channel. "This is Commander Valen. Mission success confirmed. But I'm requesting a delay in extraction." There was silence on the other end. Then, reason? He looked at Cyril. "I have found something on Ayara that Earth does not understand. A culture, people, a future. I'm not ready to leave." Yet, later that evening, a storm passed over the valley. It was not violent, but loud. The sky sang with thunder. Light poured from the trees into the air. The Ayari called it the bonding storm, a rare event, where the planet shared its memories in the open air. Songs, feelings, and dreams danced across the clouds. "This only happens once in 1,000 cycles," Cyril said. "The planet is blessing us," Rhett smiled. "Then maybe it's time to give an answer." She looked at him, her heart pounding. He took her hands gently. "Cyril, I don't fully understand your world, your ways. But I know this: when I am with you, I feel something I never felt even on Earth." She waited. "I feel whole." Then, without waiting, he said it. "Yes, I will marry you." The Ayari don't marry with rings or contracts. They marry with memory. The ceremony took place in the memory hall, a circular chamber under the stars, with glowing stones set in a spiral. Each stone sang a different song. Cyril wore a crown of star crystals. Rhett wore a robe woven from sky silk. His sentience hovered silently, like tiny stars around him in the center of the chamber. They stood face to face. A voice keeper and elder Ayara stood between them and spoke the ritual. "Do you come not as conqueror or savior?" The voice keeper asked Rhett, but his partner and friend. "I do," Rhett replied. "Do you come not as ruler?" the voice keeper asked Cyril, but his heart and home. "I do," she answered. Then they touched their foreheads together, and the heart memory crystal glowed between them. Their thoughts merged for a moment. She saw Earth through his eyes, and he saw the stars through hers. The Ayari began to sing, and Ayara remembered. After the ceremony, the planet responded. Crystals bloomed across the valley and never seen before. Shapes. A new sound was born, a harmony made from both human and Ayari emotion. It was beautiful. The next morning, Rhett received another message from Earth. "Final contact. We are entering orbit. Last chance for pickup?" He looked at the sky. The Soul Runner was waiting, but he looked at Cyril. She wasn't waiting. She was with him. He took a deep breath and opened the channel one last time. "This is Commander Valen. Cancel extraction." "I'm staying." There was a long pause. "Understood. Logging status as voluntary desertion."
Godspeed, Commander.
The connection ended. Rhett was no longer a soldier of Earth. He was something else now, protector of Ayara, a partner to a starborn queen. In the days that followed, he helped rebuild the Harmony Tower's old machines that connected Ayara's power across the world. The sentience now responded to both Cyril and Rhett. Together, they trained the remaining Ayari in new ways, blending human tactics with Ayari harmony. Defense was no longer silence and fear. It was strength and unity. And one day, as they stood atop a sky bridge and looked out at the singing forest, Cyril spoke softly. "You gave us a new future." "No," Rhett said, wrapping an arm around her. "You gave me a reason to believe in one," she smiled. "What do you call it in your language when two souls become one?" he thought, then said gently, "Love." Far away in the dark corners of the galaxy, Harrowers regrouped. They remembered the harmony and they feared it. But Ayara was ready now, because love had awakened its heart, and the human who stayed was no longer just a visitor. He was a guardian, a husband, a legend. It had been many moons since Rhett Valen chose to stay on Ayara. The planet, once silent and afraid, now bloomed with sound, color, and strength. The people had changed too. They stood taller, brighter. And at their center stood two hearts joined as one, Princess Cyril and the human warrior who became her husband. The legend of their union had spread across forests, mountains, and even into the stars. But peace is never permanent. One night, the stars dimmed, and the song of Ayara trembled. Rhett was standing at the Harmony Spire. When the sky changed, he looked up and saw it a black wave in space. Rolling silently toward the planet, Cyril joined him seconds later, her face already pale. "There. Returning," she whispered. "The harrowers?" Rhett asked. She nodded. "They've brought the source this time." Rhett's eyes narrowed. "What's the source? A mothership? Bigger than a city? It controls the smaller ones. It sings its own dark song that breaks harmony." He clenched his fists. "Then this is their final attack." Cyril looked at him with calm determination. "And this will be our final stand." Preparations began that same hour. The sentience returned to the skies, thousands of glowing crystals in perfect formation. The Ayari citizens formed new choirs, singing to awaken old defense towers buried deep in the mountains. Even the trees, connected to the planet's memory, lit up like golden wires. But Rhett knew something was different this time. The harrowers weren't just coming to destroy, they were coming to erase. Sarael called a council of elders, warriors, and memory keepers. Rhett stood beside her, his arm resting on the hilt of a sound blade, a weapon the Yari had made just for him. "We cannot run," Sarael said. "We cannot hide. We will stand, not only with weapons, but with love." The council bowed their heads. Everyone understood. This was no longer just a fight for Ayara. This was a fight for existence. The next morning, the Black Source ship entered low orbit. It didn't send messages, it didn't flash lights. It simply hummed a low, deep, sickening sound that made birds fall from the sky. The Ayari covered their ears. Rhett felt a pain in his chest. "This is the song of silence," Srael explained. "It attacks not with fire, but by killing memory. The more it spreads, the more we forget." Rhett looked around. Already some flowers had turned gray. Some sentience floated slowly, confused. "We need to strike first," he said. He gathered a team of Skyfighters humans who had returned to help after hearing his call from Earth. An Ayari trained in the new way of combat. They flew up in ships made of both steel and crystal, powered by harmony and light. Their mission was simple: break into the source ship and plant a memory bomb, a new kind of device that would overload the harrowers with emotion, something they feared and did not understand. As the ships rose, Sarael held Rhett's hand tightly. "If we fail, we won't," he said, cutting her off with a gentle smile. "Because I have something they don't." "What, love?" Then he kissed her and boarded his ship. The battle in space was like nothing seen before. The source ship opened like a flower, revealing hundreds of harrower drones. They moved in perfect silence, no lights, no signals, just deadly motion. The Ayer human fleet fought back with sound. Every weapon was tuned. Every shot sang. It was not war, it was music with purpose. Inside his ship, Rhett led the charge. His sentience lit up, forming a protective shield around him. "We push now," he shouted. His ship pierced the outer layer of the source. Inside it was dark and strangely quiet. Too quiet, then came the whispers. Voices spoke in his mind. "You don't belong here. You are alone. Earth has forgotten you." He felt fear clawed his heart. Doubt, sadness, the song of silence was in his head now. But then he touched the heart memory crystal around his neck, and he heard another voice. "Sarael, you are not alone. You carry me." Her voice was soft, but powerful. It filled him with light, and the darkness faded. He reached the core. The source core was a black orb pulsing with gray energy. It felt alive and angry. Rhett placed the memory bomb gently beside it. It wasn't a machine of fire, it was a crystal. Of dreams, it held the laughter of children, the tears of lovers, the song of Eurus forests, the heartbeat of a human in love with an alien queen. He activated it. The orb flashed once, then silence, then sound. The source ship began to tremble. It screamed, but not with power. With fear, all the harrower drones froze. Then they shattered into dust, unable to hold the emotions now inside them. Across the sky, the blackness broke apart, piece by piece, like ashes in the wind. From the ground, Serial watched the sky turn. Gold. "They did it," she whispered. Rhett's ship came falling through the clouds, badly damaged, but still glowing. It landed hard but safe. Serial ran to it. Rhett stepped out, bruised, burned, but smiling. "We win?" he asked. Serial threw her arms around him. "We win." The Ayari gathered around them, singing softly. The final harmony had begun. The planet responded with light, with peace, with warmth. The war was over. That evening, Rhett stood once again at the lake, but this time he was not throwing stones. He was placing a small memorial for those lost, Ayari, and human alike. Serial joined him. "They will be remembered." He nodded. "And so will this planet." She smiled. "What will you do now, Earth Warrior?" Rhett looked at the twin suns setting. "I think I'll plant roots," he said. "Maybe raise a few loud, stubborn, glowing children." She laughed and kissed him under the twin moons. The story of the human warrior and the alien princess became a legend. Told across stars, not just a story of love, but a story of harmony. A reminder that even in the darkest silence, a single heart can sing the universe awake.